Hmm. This is the conspiracy of Yoruba elites and demonization of Igbos. The planned days of rage protests. I am a Yoruba man representing the Fadeye constituency of life in Nigeria. Okay, this is coming from by Okwe Banwu. My catchphrase for all the powerless and opportunity less in a land blessed with so much. And I was very happy to finally read a poignant piece from a much respected Yoruba man like Babafemi Badijo, who broke ranks with many Yorubas elites to speak the truth to our brother in power. Thank God for the few true Omoluabi Yorubas remaining, like Babafemi Badijo, a former UN representative who showed that there are still a few Yorubas elites left who can see the developing dark clouds over our nation with frankness and call it what it is. Instead of joining many of their elite ethnic brothers and sisters in throwing the Igbos under the bus for everything about the reaction of suffering Nigerians to the unbearable pain our own nation is going through, regardless of tribe and clan. I have observed that these days many of us Yorubas, now that we are in power, seem so blinded by our love for our tribe and ethnic region, bowed up by our previously hidden hatred for the Igbos, that we now automatically adopt the position to blame the Igbos or Peter B first for anything that happens in Nigeria today that is against the status quo. Many Yorubas elites do not even seem to notice or care that the Igbos are not in power, and Peter B, the so-called Igbo leader, has not even taken the posture of being the leader of the opposition, other than speaking out occasionally against unacceptable policies of this government as it is his right. As far as they are concerned, the Igbos are the demons behind every ill wind they feel, even if it's as a result of the direct actions of a government that is going nowhere fast, despite its cast of very smart Yoruba elites. Truth be told, after listening to and watching some of the most cerebral Yoruba leaders I know throw reason to the wind in their collective disdain for Igbos, I was beginning to think that there must be a conspiracy among Yoruba elites to play the ostrich over the underperforming administration of Tinubu that has left most Nigerians in more poverty and hopelessness. Rather than speaking truth to power, most Yoruba elites who were very vocal against Goodluck Jonathan's failure and Buhari's backward-moving government have now chosen to hide under the banner of ethnic jingoism by always blaming one tribe, especially the Igbos, while ignoring the dissatisfaction among Yorubas with the current status quo. All of a sudden, it is unpatriotic to demonstrate against the rising cost of living, and all we hear now is if the Igbos want to demonstrate, let them go to their land, as if all Igbos have had have had an ethnic meeting and declared they want to come down and burn down Lagos, Ibadan, maybe Ijebu Mushin too. This is just all weird to me. Take these planned days of rage protest, for instance. We can all see that many high-profile Nigerians, including well-known Yoruba men like Showore, Babasunde, Gbadamoshi, and Adeyanju, are behind this protest, along with some Igbos and Hausas. However, many of my Yoruba elites have taken the default position that it is only the Igbos planning is against their own Yoruba man, President Tinubu. They have chosen to believe their own lies, that the only objective of this planned protest is for Igbos to burn down the properties of Yorubas in Lagos, even when it is their own fellow Yoruba men who have carried this planned protest in their heads. This is most unfortunate. Then this kind of people, what do you call them? They are useless. They are more than useless and devilish. That is the two languages I can ascribe them to. Listening to many prominent Yoruba leaders, one might get the impression that only the Igbos are planning to demonstrate and that they intend to burn down Lagos or Ibadan out of envy for what the Yorubas have achieved. Cannot achieve. Then Uya. Frankly, I think it is disgusting for some of our elders who know better to take that position. I cannot believe I am now hearing previously violent Gadeco members who even detonated bombs during their own fight for democracy speak with a straight face that anyone who protests will go home in a body bag. Truth is, if we want to condemn a potentially violent demonstration, let us condemn it regardless of which tribe we assume is leading it. And to be perfectly clear, I personally condemn the planned days of rich protests in the strongest terms. I condemn it because I oppose demonstrating against this government. I believe we should all protest against Tinubu's government to let him know that bad things are and make the leaders do right as is allowed in any democracy. But I condemn it because of the connotation of violence evoked by the themes days of rage and revolution, now unfortunately adopted by the organizers. I cannot support a protest with the theme to be rich or to bring everything down, no matter how strongly I believe this government should get a taste of its own protest medicine. That is why I am not supporting it, but I am also all for the idea of protest 100%. Only a naive person would assume that anything called Days of Rage or Revolution Now, an organization run by a known Yoruba man campaigning for the release of a murderous insurrectionist like Nnamdi Kanu, will be peaceful. The protest name alone evokes echoes, and no responsible patriot should support it. That is why I am not for Days of Rage. But I do believe that citizens have a right to protest peacefully, and they should protest peacefully against the current government. It has brought us nothing but economic hardship. Why they build 20 billion houses and increase their fleet of private jets and drive around in 200 million naira cars paid for by the resources of the people. Yes, we should peacefully protest a situation of runaway inflation and mass unemployment and mass hunger in the land. I am just not for any days of rage or revolution now, since they may cause more death and violence by their mere characterization through their slogans. However, for any of my Yoruba brothers and sisters to divert attention from the catalyst of dissatisfaction or disaffection that gave rise to the planned protest by playing the tribal blame game is unacceptable to me. Yoruba leaders who claim only the Igbos are planning to demonstrate hypocritically downplayed the fact that their own Yoruba sons and brothers are prominent in organizing this protest. Showore is very visible. He coined the phrase Day of Rage, organized Twitter meetings to decide on demands and publish those demands, including the release of Kano. Yet, it is the Igbos who want to take Tinubu down. What a laugh. Make no mistake, there are indeed many reasons to protest in this nation right now. Jonathan did not put us through 50% of what we are enduring now before the same Tinubu called Nigerians to the street to discredit Jonathan's government and ultimately cost him his second term. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. It's supposed to be a democratic right to protest, but now our so-called democratic Yoruba leaders are threatening death to anyone who dares to protest. They are rolling out sacred traditional institutions to intimidate citizens by doing 15 days of Oro, a period longer than ever before. Let's be clear, while the chosen name for the planned protest is unfortunate, the organizers have not even committed any violence yet. They have not attacked anyone and have not even stated any violent intention. They ask for safe passage and a place to demonstrate. But our Yoruba elites consider it insulting that they are asking for permission to use public place or events for water, which, while ridiculous, shows they want to come in peace. You can't even just show or shut down a planned demonstration out of fear of violence. Sure, we had violence in the past with NSAS, But everyone forget that the violent aftermath was caused by the violent shooting of protesters in the first place. If the government didn't shoot youthful protesters who had been peacefully protesting for 2 weeks, maybe we would not have had the mindless violence that followed. We cannot overcompensate for previous violent protests by saying nobody can protest now that Yorubas are in power. I am most unhappy about this, and we keep saying so. I am so embarrassed by the number of prominent Yorubas who have become murderous defenders of an unperforming government just because it's one of their own. I am hearing sons and state elders threatening instant death and shun against demonstrators, and I showed her what is going on. You all, his your love for Tinubu so strong that you refuse to see the reality in which most Nigerians live? Are you so committed to defending the unacceptable status quo that you are ready to throw all Igbos under the bus just to keep others oppressed? Are you are your own children and relatives not suffering under the hardship imposed by a man who promised us deliverance? If people want to demonstrate, should you not be encouraging them while urging them to be non-violent? My name is Okpe Banwo, the mayor of Fadeyi, and why I am very proud of my Yoruba heritage as a double prince from Ikala in Ijebu Mushin. I am most unhappy at the embers of ethnicism being found across the country against other tribes, especially the Igbos. They have even disgraced themselves. You see, the same thing that the Northerners were accused of. They are not the one doing it. Now they go even fight themselves. So guys, let's say your opinion and have your take on this.